Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and I've got a pile of speakers on the desk today. This is the Philips Zenit home theater system, and I got this through the Amazon Vine program. It looked interesting. I don't usually review speakers on the channel, but this is actually a complete out-of-the-box home theater solution, a true 5.1 channel system that costs about the same as a soundbar might. And I always prefer actually having discrete audio channels with real speakers versus a soundbar, and I thought this would be a rather interesting product to explore a bit. And from the setup side, it is extremely easy. It's not the best sounding system, unfortunately, and it's also lacking a few audio formats that home theater enthusiasts might want. So this is not something I'm going to recommend to someone who's very serious about their movies, but it is something for people that are looking maybe for a second system for a bedroom or for one of the kids or something, or for gamers that are looking for something quick and easy that can be set up without a lot of fuss. So this is, again, a true 5.1 channel system. You've got a center channel speaker that goes under your television, two front channel speakers for left and right that go to the left and right of the center channel here. You also get a left and right speaker for the rear as well, and that is why I like this kind of setup versus a soundbar, because you actually hear things coming out of speakers that are behind you. You get that true surround sound feel to it. And what's really cool about all this is that everything in the box is really all you need to get going, because they also include the cables for these speakers too. So what happens is you plug the two front channel speakers into the center channel here. So left and right go in here. The cables are very lengthy. In fact, I haven't measured them, but I could not find an end to it. So I think you're going to have no problem getting this wired up in your room. They also have very simple connectors here that are impossible to screw up. They can't go in the wrong way. So you just pop it into the back of this thing and you're off and running. Now what's nice about this, and what really adds to the simplicity, is that the rear speakers are connected wirelessly. So this box here connects wirelessly to the center channel speaker across the room, and then the rear speakers are connected to similar connectors that we just saw on the front. So it's, again, just something very easy to wire speakers to the left and right of this device versus having to go all the way across the room to get your rear speakers wired up. So very nice to have this little amplifier module that connects wirelessly to the front of the room, and the subwoofer here is also wireless too. So you just plug the subwoofer into the wall, it finds the center channel speaker, and your audio goes here over the air, which is a lot easier than running a bunch of cables everywhere. So very easy from a cable standpoint, and again, you've got a huge spool of wire on each of these speakers on the bottom to get everything hooked up. Now it doesn't support much in the way of what you connect to it, unfortunately, so it only allows one HDMI device plugged in at a time. That one plugs into the HDMI port right here. You run the HDMI cable out to your television through here. It will pass through 4K video, so it doesn't do any video processing, no scaling or up converting or down converting. It's just simply passing the video through and then grabbing the audio for the speaker system here. It does not support DTS audio, and that is where I'm dinging it a star on Amazon, because that is a really important audio format for people who are into movies, and many Blu-ray movies have the DTS audio track as their main master track, and the Dolby Digital track, which is what the only audio format that this supports, is often not the best sounding version of the movie audio. It doesn't even support the master version of Dolby Digital either, so you get the very basic Dolby Digital audio, the kind of audio that's on most DVDs, but many Blu-rays are now moving into more advanced audio formats that this does not support. So you're not going to get the best sounding movies out of this if you're really into good sounding movies. But most game consoles, typically go at that 5.1 channel Dolby Digital format for the games that you might be playing. So I think from that standpoint, it might be worthy of consideration. You do have a USB port here for plugging in a memory card with audio files on there, so you can play things back that way. On the back here, you've got optical audio in, so you can plug in a CD player or something that supports optical audio outputs, and you also have an audio input just for standard analog that looks like a little headphone connector there, so you may need to get an adapter cable to run out from your analog audio device. You'll see too that the front display is currently set to Bluetooth, and that is because I have my phone connected via Bluetooth to the center channel right now, so I can hit the play button here, it'll trigger my phone and start playing audio now too. So you do have the ability to do some basic controls from the remote that it comes with here. It does support HDMI CEC also, so it will start and stop your Blu-ray or DVD player, or game console for that matter, if it supports the CEC protocol. You can very easily switch between inputs just by pushing on the button for that particular device that you want to do. So we were on HDMI here. I'll switch back to my Bluetooth adapter there and get that going there. There are some features for audio delay, so you can actually change how the timing of the audio going to each speaker. So if you're noticing that like lip syncs are out of lip sync, you can adjust that a little bit on here to get it triggered just to where you want it to go. Unfortunately, this does not have any kind of on-screen display, so everything is done through this very limited display on the front here. You can dim it down because this is facing you all the time, so you can dim it down or you can put it into night mode, which I believe will actually turn off the display completely when you activate it. So that will at least get rid of that white words just kind of shooting at you all the time when you're watching a movie or something like that. But it can get pretty bright, as you can see here. So you may want to just run that night mode when you are playing back audio on it. And that's pretty much it. It's a very basic system, but I really do like how easy it is to get it set up. And again, I think this is really going to be better for gamers than it's going to be for home theater enthusiasts. It doesn't have many inputs on it, so there's only that single HDMI connection. If you want to plug in a Blu-ray player and unplug your game console, you're going to have to actually physically swap them around or get a switch box or something like that. So many of the AV receivers, even the cheap ones, support at least 2 or 3 or 4 HDMI inputs. This one only has one. It does lack that DTS audio, which I think is a major omission. So that is definitely something you need to keep in mind. And the audio quality on here isn't all that great either. This is not a very powerful system. It's actually marketed as a 420 watt system, but about half of that power is just the amplifier in the subwoofer. So the rest of it is getting distributed out amongst the speakers here. So 40 watts of power to each of these speakers individually is all you're really getting. So really most of the audio power is in the subwoofer, and even this subwoofer isn't all that powerful. It's a 6.5-inch woofer, 45 to 150 hertz bass on it. So it sounds okay. It definitely is going to give you a lot more boom than your television will, but not as good as perhaps an 8 or a 10-inch subwoofer that you might buy as part of a home theater package that includes a receiver and other things that you'd have to piece together separately. The speakers are, they have two 2.5-inch full-range woofers and a 1-inch tweeter. That is for all 4 of these speakers. That's what each one has inside. The center channel speaker has 2 racetrack full-range woofers and a 1-inch tweeter. So again, the audio quality to me just doesn't have a nice range of sound. It's a little bit flat. But again, it's nice to have that spatiality, if that's a word, and it really does do well in a gaming environment where you might not need the best quality audio, but you definitely want to get that experience of having sound coming at you from different directions. I think it does very well there. I don't think it does very well for people that are looking for the best movie audio, partly because of that omission of DTS audio, but also just because the speakers aren't all that powerful and don't really have a good range of sound to them. But this does do very well in a smaller room. If you're not all that serious about your audio and want something better than the way your TV sounds, this will definitely sound better than your TV, and I think actually a better choice than a sound bar, given you have 5.1 channels of discrete sound. So that is the Philips Zenit Cinema System, and this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. This channel is brought to you by the generosity of my Patreon supporters. If you find the channel helpful, you too can contribute for as little as $1 a month. Visit Lon.TV/Patreon to learn more.